Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be taking a look at what a Gravemind actually is, how it forms, and how it actually controls the flood. Now this video is going to get a little bit complicated towards the end, so prepare yourself. Okay, so to put it simply, a Gravemind is the result of the flood reaching the second stage of outbreak, which is the coordinator stage, and is also the physical culmination of many bodies, hosts, and their intelligence. The easiest way to explain how a Gravemind forms and grows is to actually understand the various stages of a flood outbreak. The first stage is the feral stage. It's what occurs in Halo Combat Evolved, and is when the Flood have very little to no strategy, and are typically over-aggressive because of this. Infection forms infect hosts to create combat forms, and then they focus on the consumption of intelligent beings and biomass to expand and strengthen their own forces. Ultimately, this creates a proto-Gravemind, which is that weird Flood entity that Captain Keyes was absorbed into in Halo Combat Evolved. The proto-Gravemind can control individual Flood forms, allowing all combat, infection, carrier, and pure forms to follow the same orders of one being using its compound intelligence. This makes the Flood a lot more strategic and less erratic as they're all following the same orders. Local combat forms continue to supply it with fresh bodies, allowing it to gain more mass, memories, size, and intelligence from all of its consumed hosts. The second stage of the outbreak is the coordinator stage. It occurs in Halo 2 and is when the local ecosystem is pretty much fully absorbed. Flood population rapidly increases, and the proto-Gravemind has collected enough mass and intelligence to reach a state of compound mind, where it becomes self-aware, thus turning into the type of Gravemind that we all know and, I guess, love? The Flood are now a hell of a lot more organised and more lethal. The third stage is the interstellar stage. It occurs in Halo 3, and is when the Flood have sufficient technological ability to exit a solar system. The Flood quickly engulf planets, which leads to the creation of Key-Minds. These Key-Minds are extremely large Graveminds that engulf planets and are intelligent enough to outsmart pretty much any Foreigner Ancilla. Due to the Flood's intelligence in this stage, non-biological intelligences such as AIs are targeted and manipulated by Logic Plague. A famous occurrence of the Logic Plague is in the case of Mendicant Bias, the Contender-class AI in charge of Installation 07 and all Foreigner defences during the Foreigner Flood War. He was interrogated by the Primordial, a Gravemind who was believed to be the last surviving precursor, and ultimately defected to the Flood. The fourth and final stage is actually a sort of theory of a stage, and is the transgalactic stage. The only time this stage was actually thought to be reached was during the Human-Foreigner Wars, where the Flood were driven out of the galaxy, possibly forcing them into the transgalactic stage. This supposedly occurs when all sentient life in a galaxy is being consumed, and the Flood have gained total understanding of all present technology and scientific knowledge. Due to the Flood now pretty much having absorbed everything in the galaxy they're currently in, and learning all the knowledge that galaxy has to offer, they must now spread to other galaxies to continue their outbreak. Ultimately, this should lead to the creation of another Gravemind in another galaxy, and thus repeat the stages. So now we know how a Gravemind forms and how the Flood spread between galaxies, how does a Gravemind actually control its Flood to do so? Well, seeing as the Flood are technically precursors, they can utilise the precursor concept of neural physics. Now bear with me on this, it is incredibly complicated, but I think I've bottled it down to a way that's fairly easy to understand. The principles of neural physics assume that the entire universe is living, but in a way that is beyond the comprehension of biological organisms. The precursors were able to harness the principles of neural physics as a transcendent form of technology, and use it to create structures and travel the stars. To put it into perspective how complicated this stuff really is, not even the wisest of Foreigners could put their fingers on it. So, using the assumption that pretty much everything in the galaxy is living, the Gravemind can communicate via telepathy to everything, Flood included. This is how he communicates with Chief, and I think Arbiter 2 technically in Halo 3. This telepathy is very poorly understood, as to learn the ins and outs of it, neural physics must first be understood, which as we know is near enough impossible. This telepathy allows the Gravemind to easily coordinate, manipulate, order and control Flood hordes, which ultimately increases their lethalness. Thanks a lot for watching guys, I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope I could clear a few things up about how Graveminds and the Flood work. I'll be doing more videos about the Flood in the future because I firmly believe that they will be present in Halo 6. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.